Happy Monday, everybody. I'm so excited to be here again for this bi-weekly edition of what's coming up for Carrie and what I hope to share with you. And over the past week and a half, I've had several clients and interactions with people who I've had to encourage to allow themselves to feel their feelings. In this day and age, we operate from one of a couple of places. One still being an old belief system that, you're not allowed to feel your feelings. You got to suck it up and keep it moving and just move on, really, right? The other belief system that is pretty prevalent, particularly in the work that I do and within the collective consciousness that I operate, is our energetic vibration, right? And so what do I mean? Well, when you're experiencing certain emotions, you carry with that an energetic frequency. Why? Because all of us are energy. And so I work with people who are aware of this and will work really, really hard to stay in a high vibration. So if they start to have emotions, they judge them because they dip down and they start to feel sad or something. And they're like, oh, nope, dip down, not in a good place. Well, here is the reality. The only way you're going to be able to stay joyful, stay positive, operate from a place of unconditional love and free from habitual patterns of behavior and compulsion and self-deprivation is to feel your feelings. So, on the one hand, while yes, it's truly important that you get to a place where you're operating from joy and abundance and happiness and curiosity. The only way to actually live in that space consistently is to allow yourself to feel your feelings when you're not living in that space, when you are feeling emotionally triggered, if you're experiencing upset, frustration, sadness, because those emotions are coming up so that you can move through them. And what do I mean by moving through them? Well, the reality is we have emotions because our bodies need to release energy. If we have an experience that doesn't feel good for us, we have an emotional response. If my daughters yell at me and I've asked them to respect my space and they continue to yell and not, adhere to my words, I may get angry. And it is in me just recognizing that anger and then asking myself why I'm angry in the first place, that I'm able to release that anger and go back to a place of joy or peace, calmness. I go back to being settled in where I'm at. And that's really, really important as we continue on our healing journey, because we need to express ourselves so that way we don't repress the feelings and the experiences that we are having within our body, right? There is real science and evidence that says that we operate from a mind-body energy connection. Nothing is separate. What we think is going to directly impact how we feel physically. How we feel physically is going to impact how our energy vibrates, like how we operate. And so if you're operating from this belief that you have to be joyful and you can't feel your feelings, and really all you're doing is keeping what you don't want more persistent in your body, right? And so there's a phrase that a lot of people use that I truly have come to understand is true, is what we resist persists. So what we try to avoid, what we try to push under the rug, what we try to stop thinking will actually continue and be more pervasive, because we're not allowing ourselves to just be in the experience that we're having. And so for today, if you are feeling anxious, allow yourself to feel anxious without judging yourself. Sit in that anxiety and know that that is where you're at, and that's okay. And as you sit in that anxiety, you actually move through that experience. And you're able to shed those anxious feelings more quickly than if you try to convince yourself you shouldn't be anxious in the first place. And the same holds true when we're operating from compulsive behaviors and addictions, right? So the reality is rather than pushing away the experience we're having, allow yourself to get curious as to why you're having it in the first place. So what does that look like? Well, if I had a really tough day at work and I'm emotionally drained and I'm physically drained, and I find myself going to eat food that I know is going to deplete me and make me feel less energetic and kind of blah, I get curious as to why I am leaning into that behavior, right? And sometimes it's simply that I'm really, really exhausted. I need to go to sleep. Sometimes it's that I'm emotional and I need to release my emotions. So rather than going for the food that I would normally lean into to kind of comfort me, I recognize that I need to experience a release of some kind, and I just feel my feelings. And so today, I really encourage you to allow yourself to just be okay with however you're feeling in any moment, without judgment, without trying to push it away. And that can be very uncomfortable, particularly if you're somebody who's been told that to be angry is unacceptable, to be sad is a sign of weakness, to be anxious isn't real, right? My daughter was actually told by somebody that anxiety isn't a real thing. I get that it can be hard, but I promise that if you allow yourself to just feel those feelings, you'll actually be able to move through them much more quickly. And in doing so, not only are you helping yourself heal from whatever experiences that you are being reminded of or that you're in this moment, but you'll also come back to a place of nurturing, of calm, of love for yourself, or you'll be working toward achieving that goal, rather than being stuck in resisting what it is that's there, because that's the only way to truly heal. I really believe that from my own experience. So if you have any questions, if you ever want to reach out and get support, or even just get some ideas as to how to sit with your feelings, please feel free to reach out to me. My number, I'm happy to share with everybody. It's 571-320-5206. You can always check out my website as well. But again, at the end of the day, for you to really operate from a place of self-love, from joy, unconditional love for yourself and others, free from fear, you got to allow yourself to feel your feelings. So be brave, be bold, and show up for yourself. See you in a couple weeks, guys.